Hi guys, welcome back to another video. I hope you're all well. If you're enjoying the content, then please don't forget to like and subscribe and share any videos you're enjoying on social media, as it helps distribute the content on different platforms. Also, click the bell icon on the notification settings to get notified as soon as a video is published. Now, in today's video, I will be reading part one of an interview with Russel Tate. Now, if you don't know, the name sort of gives it away, but Russel was Pat Tate's brother, who we know worked alongside Mickey Steele smuggling drugs after Pat Tate's murder. Now, this is obviously up until the time that both Russel and Mickey were arrested. Now, Russel was arrested and his house was searched under the Misuse of Drugs Act, and I'll be showing the photos we have from Russell's home today in the video, showing items that were seized. Record of tape recorded interview. Person interviewed, Russel Tate. Place of interview, Raleigh Police Station. Date of interview, 14th of the 5th, 96. Time commenced, 15:45. Time concluded, 17:27. Duration of interview, hour 42 minutes. Tape reference numbers 42JD 108961. Interviewing officers, DC 2045 Weald, DC 1547 Treadway. Other persons present, Mrs. Harvey from Twitch and Musters and Kelly Solicitors. This interview is being tape recorded and the time is 15:45 hours and it's Tuesday, the 14th of the 5th, 96. The interview is being conducted at Raleigh Police Station and I am DC Weald, stationed at Headquarters Major Investigations. There is another officer present, DC Treadway, DC Nicholas Treadway, Detective Constable 1547, also stationed at the Central Detective Unit, Major Investigations. Thank you. There is also legal representation present. Mrs. Harvey, Twitchin, Musters and Kelly. Thank you. And also Russell. Russell, could you tell me your full name, date of birth and address, please? Russel Wayne Tate. 18th of the 10th, 61, 69 Benfleet Road, Hadley. Thank you. Can I just remind you at the beginning of this interview, Russell, that you don't have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you're not mentioned when questioned, something which you later rely on in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence. Okay. And it may be that, assuming there are subsequent interviews, Mr. Tate may seek to answer questions then, but will not do so at this present time. Okay, thank you. Right, what I can say to you, obviously, Russell, that indicates you're not going to answer the questions that I'll ask of you, so it's a waste of time me asking you questions. But what am I obliged to tell you, to some extent, is to what we're going to be speaking to you about, all right? And it involves, as you say, what's suspected to be the importation of controlled drugs into this country. All right, now we believe from obviously the continent. Now, when I say the continent, from France and wherever else. Right. Okay, I don't know if it has been explained to you, but this is an ongoing investigation that's been taking place for quite some time. Now, not only involving ourselves as the police, but also customs. Now, that has been taking place, as I say, for a while, and there is evidence that's come to light from police observations, that customs observations, and from inquiries made into phones, mobile phones that are registered as being owned by yourself, that indicate that you have involvement in the importation of drugs into the country. With regard to specifics in that, I will go into specifics. The only reason perhaps we haven't shown you everything is because there are other things on the documents that would indicate that not only Russell was involved, but other people that are in custody. And obviously it's not in my interest to show you the things that don't relate to you, alright? Now, all I can say to you first of all is that obviously there's some mobile phones that indicate on bills that phones registered to you have been from those phones, we believe, by you to people in this country who are in custody, and we believe are also involved in the importation of drugs. Now, the names of these people that are in custody at present, I will name to you now in person by the name of Michael Steele, a person by the name of Jackie Street, who is his common law wife, a person by the name of Jack Womes, a person by the name of Darren Nichols. Have you got the list? Yes. There are a number of them, so I don't know. Someone by the name of Peter Corey and a person with the surname of Bridge. I don't know his first name, but the surname Bridge. Now, obviously, you weren't the only person that was arrested yesterday, but a number of other people have been, and they are, I'm sure, being interviewed at the same time. What, more than them? No, that's the people that I've told you that are in custody. Right. Okay, they weren't all arrested by the police. Some have been arrested by customs as well. Right. Now, obviously at some stage today we're going to go into detail through the itemised billing of your phones, all right? And I'm going to ask you why certain numbers have been rung, whether you've had control of these phones, or if you haven't, who you've given them to, and also basically ask you where your whereabouts have been on the relevant dates. If I can round it up to say that it's mainly been the beginning of this year, when I say the sort of February period, the March period, and April into May. Say that again, please. April into May this year. All right, now I can say that we believe you came back into this country on or about the 12th of the 5th, which would have been Sunday, okay? Now, obviously, there's a lot of detail that I'm going to go into, but at this stage, is there anything you want to say with regard to what I've explained to yourself? Are there any questions you've got? I indicate by that you're not, or that you haven't got any questions. You're shaking your head. That's a no, is it? No, I was having a fit. Well, the only reason I can say you're shaking your head is because someone might listen to this at a later stage, and I know you mean no, but I have to make it clear for the tape, all right? Yeah. That's all I mean. I don't know, just out of common courtesy. I mean, if you just wanted to say yes or no, it just makes it easier than me having to sort of make myself look an idiot to you by saying that you're shaking your head. Okay. Yeah, is that fair enough? Yeah. Now, I don't know whether you want an opportunity to speak with Russell again, or do you want me to go straight ahead and we'll go through all this? Well, obviously I need to know what the evidence is so that I can advise him, and at the moment I don't know what it is. Right. As I've said, he's willing to listen to what you've got to say. Obviously there's a lot of stuff that's still being done. That will be updated with as well. We're here today. I can go through the telephone details now with you, if you want, and I can also go through the details of movements that have been seen of yourself. All right, and I believe also the fact this is related to. I believe at the time you were released, you were arrested several weeks ago in the Grays area. Yeah, that's correct. With an amount of money and a number of people. Now, obviously, I'll be speaking to you about that. Right. Only from the point of view that obviously that indicates to me that you may be part of the involvement with this importation, being the suspicious person that I am. Obviously, people going out of the country with a large amount of money, all right, there has to be a reason for that, and I understand you did give a reason at the time, and that was accepted by the police, but obviously in the situation now, I want to cover that with you, all right? Now, I understand that you also own a number of vehicles, or you use a number of vehicles, is that correct? No comment. We believe that you have access or use of your own black Mercedes, registration E532NMU. I think it's 190, that's your black Mercedes, and that you was actually parked outside your house last night. That's been taken into police possession at present. Right. Obviously, that's been taken, one, to allow it to be searched. I don't know if you're aware. I don't know if is your wife or your girlfriend. It's me wife. Right. I don't know if you had any chance to speak to her last night, but there was a number of officers there until about 4 o'clock in the morning. She was given the option of we can leave at a reasonable time and we'll come back in the morning, but police would have to keep the house secure, or let's go straight ahead with it. We'll get it done as quickly as we obviously can because it's a large house. There was a number of rooms and a large attic. right? Now, obviously that car's been taken because I don't believe they had the opportunity to search it last night. So they'll do that sometime today because I believe there was also a big garage in the back garden that had, from what they described, because I didn't see it, loads of stuff in boxes. When I say stuff, I mean just property, you know, boxes and things. That's all good. That's all got to be looked through, and I believe they did until about 4 o'clock in the morning. Now, I haven't got all the details of exactly everything that was taken, but if I can find a list for you. Got a light, please? I haven't. I don't smoke, actually, because of, well, we can get hold of one for you. Do you smoke by any chance? No, I don't, unfortunately. The time's 15:55 hours, leaving the interview room to get a light. I appreciate you weren't there, Russell. That was just leaving the office. I appreciate that you weren't at the house last when the search was made, but I don't, and I apologise if the way it was done, in your eyes, out of order. I agree to a certain extent that obviously the police were given certain information, and it does seem heavy-handed when they go storming in with firearms, especially when there's 3 little children in there. That's right, and I can appreciate that, and I sympathise with you totally. And the back door was open. Unfortunately, they're not aware of that, but what I can say is that when officers search the place, they make a list of everything that's taken, all right? And I'll give you a chance through each of those sheets now, and then I will go through it with you. So, what it details is roughly where it was. Obviously, they go into more detail on the forms, what it was, and who actually seized it, all right? If you want to take a look through that, if there's anything there that you sort of disagree with or are not happy with, then let me know. Have you seen one of these forms before? I've seen one before, but it's when property is seized on a search, it actually gets chronologically listed on there. 2 books of cause, just general correspondence paperwork. Yeah, papers. There was a large amount. We would have been there till now if we were going through it all. Again, we've got a property officer that's going through this stuff. It's just feasibly not possible to go through every Nokia phone. Nokia phone? Is that £20 and £20? No. I think Is it? Oh yes, it is £20, isn't it? Perhaps it was a £20 note, but in the case of some, obviously a lot of the stuff there may be totally innocent reason why it's there, but we just take it all, we sort it out, and the kids' postcards are a bit like, I didn't, obviously we haven't taken some, I mean, you're all on the same side. Lovely. Are they illegal? They are if you haven't got a licence for them. Yeah, the defendant's pointing out 10 shotgun cartridges. They've been in the attic for years. Have they? Now, pointing out, it says 3 times lumps of brown resinous substance. They obviously think that that's some cannabis resin. I think it's only a personal amount, wasn't it, Jason? Only a small amount. Then this, all different currency, the money. Well, it's collected. So you say you collect all this. It's money you collect. Okay. These are not illegal, are they? Has this been given to me before? Yeah. Have they? What's that you're pointing to? Knuckle dusters. Can I just add, can I just ask, before we go and look into the details of other things, why there was such a large number of what I would call weapons? But it depends whether you use them as weapons or not. But things like knives, there was a couple of knives in sheaths up in the loft. They're in the loft. But any reason why you had such a large number of them? They were in the loft. I can't even remember. There is, a large number. Okay. What do you call a large number? There was. I see the knuckle dusters as well. Why do you have those? Why do I have those? One is a parachute cord, which is an old antique. Right. And the other one was taken from my dead brother. Right, okay. Now, you say you collect foreign currency. Obviously, I mean, the majority of it is paper money, but there were some coins there as well as 100 peseta coins. Uh-huh. Obviously, I'm talking to you because I believe you've been over to France, Spain, and Gibraltar, and lo and behold, at your house is currency for all those places. Is that just a coincidence, or is there more in it than that? Well, there's Mexican, Cuban, Cyprus, American, and loads of other countries as well. With regard to the Spanish currency, I believe there was about 142,000 pesetas, which I believe worked out, not being a mathematical genius, I think it was about £700 in Spanish currency that looked fairly new. It wasn't old money. No, it's holiday money. Holiday money. When were you on holiday? Recently? Recently, yeah. Because, I mean, I refer back to the time when you were stopped at Gray's, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you gave an explanation to the police that you were going to buy a property in Spain. Was that right? Well, I was looking to buy a property. Have you managed to do that yet? So what happened subsequently I mean, did you still go on that trip? I don't know. Yeah, I did. You did. And was it successful? No, not really. No, we all ended up having a big argument. Now, was that a family holiday? Did you go with the wife and the kids? Isn't it hot in here? God, this is baking. That's why I was going to give you a light for a cigarette. It just makes it worse. There was also an amount of English money, just under £1,000, and I'm trying to remember the name of Paul Adams. Someone had written a note saying this was from him to you. I mean, I can get it more detail, but from my own recollection, there was a piece of paper saying £900 from Paul. Yeah, Paul James. Paul James, that would be the one. Yeah. What's that with regard to? That's money from years ago. From years and years and years, from when we used to do cars together, and he's still paying it back to this day. Ask him. What is your business at the moment? What do you do for employment? Cars. Selling them or fixing them or valeting them and selling them? Right. Do you have a business address? From home. From your home. Okay. Now, obviously the black Mercedes, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong again, but was that used by your brother? Yeah. It was. And what, you've taken possession of it, or did you buy it from Sarah? I brought it and sold it to a friend. Okay. He was letting my wife use while her car was being fixed. Do you still have use of it now? It was going back that night. Her car had only just been fixed, if you want to check it out. Right, okay. What car would you have use of on a normal day-to-day business? None. None at all? None at all. Now, no. So how do you get around? Well, my wife. Right, okay. On the day you were stopped at Gray's, were you with your wife then? No. Who was driving you then? A friend. I mean, they were all checked out, and I believe everyone was released anyway. So, I mean, it's not a case of it being we're talking about an offence here. It's just I'm trying to get clear in my mind, who would have been there and why they were there. Now, obviously, like I say, there's a number of things here. Do you want me to go through every one of them, or would you be able to give me an explanation for all of them? For most of them, yeah. Yeah, okay. Obviously, the correspondence I can't ask you about because we don't know what it is ourselves yet. Someone's looking at it at the moment. You've got a number of mobile phones. Whose are they? Well, 2 of them are mine. Right. And the other one doesn't work. Yeah, there was one, I think, in the bedroom wardrobe beside an old police truncheon. That's Pat's. That's Pat's old phone, is it? Okay. I know it's a silly question, but where did you get the police truncheon? For they don't get stolen occasionally, because they do get stolen occasionally when the copper gets beaten up. The police had it, and give it me back. Have they? Yeah. Okay. I've probably had it since I was a kid. Now, we've covered the currency and we've covered the £950 from Paul James. Just to backtrack slightly on the currency, you said obviously you collect it, and some of it was obviously from the holiday in Spain. Can you remember the last time you were abroad? A week ago or something like that, yeah. Yeah. When we said to you that you came back on the 12th of the 5th, which was a Sunday, would that be correct? Uh, yeah. Okay, and how long had you actually been away during that time? Well, quite a while. Yeah? Yeah. What, weeks or? Yeah, weeks. Okay, and where had you visited while you were away then? About, well, must have been about 6 different places. Yeah. Were you driving there or had you flown and then sort of got a hire car when you were out there? Drove. Right. And drove from where? I just drove around the continent. Right, so how did you go across? Across where? Across the channel. Ferry. Right, so you went on the ferry across, obviously, initially to France. France, okay. Drove round? Yeah. In France? Yeah. Where did you go after you went to France? You were heading somewhere specific, and then did you do like we say, I was just looking for a nice place, really. Right, okay, specifically in a specific country or somewhere in Europe? Somewhere in Europe. Right, so having got to France, where did you go from France? Andorra. Uh-huh. Spain. Yeah. Gibraltar. Portugal. Okay, and what car were you in to do that? A friend's car. Right, so a friend's car. So you weren't driving? No. And how many of you were there? The friend? There was several of us. 3, 4, you're not prepared to say? No. Okay, that's fair enough. I don't want them going through this. Right, okay. Can you remember when you first went out? No, sorry, no. If we were to give you an indication on a date, would you remember that was correct or no? Sorry, since my brother was murdered, I haven't been right in the head. My memory isn't great. Right, okay. We believe it was about the 18th of the 4th you went out, and I appreciate that you've just said, but if we say it to you, I mean, at least you get the opportunity to, to what we've said. We believe you went out on the 18th of the 4th and have come back, obviously, on Sunday the 12th, or somewhere around about the 12th. The reason I say this is because the mobile phones that are registered to you, the itemised billing for these detail that they were being used back in this country. Now, obviously, can you give me an explanation as to why you were using your mobile phones out there? I know it sounds like an obvious question, but who are you ringing? That's what I'm asking. Just friends. I had a bit of hassle with my phone while I was out there, and the phone people stopped my phones from working because they believed that someone else had a copycat version of them. A clone. Yeah, a clone. Uh-huh. Okay, well, I mean, to be fair to you, a large number of the calls that are itemised R2D Johnson. I'll get the exact details when I can. The people you said, the friends that you were out there with, are any of these people that we've named also being in custody? No. Yeah? I've never heard of them. Those names, you've never heard of? No. None of them? No. You're sure? Yes. So, guys, thanks for listening. That is the end of part 1 of the interview of Russel Tate. Keep an eye on the channel. I will be posting part 2 at some point this week. Like I said, if you're enjoying, please like and subscribe and give it a little share. And I'll see you in the next one. Sweet.